What's up in War Eagle, everybody? It's your guy, Ike Jones. We're back with another morning drop. Today is Facts or Not Friday. Go ahead and get your questions locked and loaded. We are going wall to wall with chat questions today. Y'all know how we do War Report style. Let's drop it on them.
You are now listening to the War Report.
Morning drop Friday, February the 9th. Ike Jones, B. Will in here. Talking a little Auburn sports with y'all this morning. Hopefully everybody is having a good morning. We want you to do the necessary, sharing the video out there on social media.
Share that.
Hashtag get your weight up at the War Report so we know that you did that share. Go ahead and give a thumbs up on the video because, listen, this is really just y'all talking for the vast majority of the show. So if you don't like the video, then you don't really like what y'all are talking about on this one. So give yourselves a thumbs up for giving really good questions in advance today. Like the video. Subscribe to the channel. That's about us. All right. Now, the likes help us, but, subscribe to the channel. That's we need y'all to do that. B. Will, we're going to get in here and we're going to do facts or not. We had one, I didn't put a graphic together for it. We had one pretty good one from social media. And listen, I know I'm definitely a facts or not Nazi. I get it. Where I'm just like, nope, that's not good enough. We're not doing that one. So, forgive me for being very judicious about how we do these facts and not questions, but I did like one of them. I did make a graphic for just one facts and not question, and last week we didn't have any Twitter questions, but I am going to read this one to start us off while people get some in the chat. And this one is coming from Christopher P, who is tweeting at he hell, which I love the at handle, what I'm saying? Awesome. But he says, facts or not, Auburn scores 100 at least on at least two or more teams before the 2024 Final Four. So he's already saying that Auburn's going to the Final Four. But before the Final Four happens, Auburn will put 100 on the scoreboard 2 times. How you feeling about that one, B. Will?
I'm thinking about the rest of our SEC schedule.
Yeah, let me look at that right now while you're talking about it. So the rest of the schedule is, of course, Florida coming up next. At Florida, we got South Carolina at home, Kentucky at home, Georgia on the road, Tennessee on the road, Mississippi State at the crib, Missouri on the road, and then Georgia back at home.
It would be Missouri on the road or Georgia back at home. That's
He
what
said you got to do it twice, though.
Right. He said before the 2024 Final Four. So he's including the postseason, which I have no idea because I don't even know.
Could be like the round of 64, like first round of the NCAA tournament. You could hang 100 on somebody. That's true.
Very good chance. Very good chance that could happen. So I'm going to say facts. I think it happens one more time during the regular season and at least one time during the postseason. More likely to happen during that round of 64, like you said. But yeah, I'm going to say facts.
Yeah, I was going to go nah until I thought about the round of 64 game that could potentially happen. I'm going to join you in saying facts on this. I think that it's possible. I think Georgia at home is probably the more likely scenario of the games that we have left for us to put 100 up. Mississippi State's too good defensively, even though it's at home. South Carolina's too good defensively, even though it's at home. Kentucky at home, possible because they're not great defensively, and I think you need to score a lot of points against Kentucky. So oddly enough, I think Kentucky at home is possible. I don't think it's probable. Yeah, I think Georgia at home is probably the best case scenario to get this in, but I'll go facts. Okay. We get 100 twice before the end of this season.
I'm with it.
All right. That's all we had from Twitter that I liked. There were other ones that got submitted on Twitter. Let me just say, just so y'all know, man, you got a better chance of getting your facts and our questions answered or on the live thing from Twitter if you're not asking me stuff to predict stuff like 8 months down the road, like what the final season prediction of like games that Auburn is going to win next football season.
It's a little difficult.
And we haven't even gone through the spring yet. Like, I'm not of the, mindset of trying to predict super early facts or not style, because we're going to answer that exact same question 5 more times between now and the season, because people are going to keep asking, what do you guys think we're going to do next season? And it's like, if I'm answering in February, my answer is going to change in March, and it's going to change in April.
Yeah.
I'm not, I've been telling you guys of the Mike G ilk. Like, I'm not that dude.
Right.
Yeah. So not this early on football season.
Hard to do that far.
It's super. I mean, it's just, there's so many factors that come into play with that it's, facts are not for more definitives for me. And so,
Yeah.
All right. Anyway, that's enough of me on my soapbox about facts and not. That's not what y'all came to do. Y'all came to get your questions answered, and we getting into that right now. Auburn dad, whose birthday it is. Happy birthday to Auburn dad. Appreciate you jumping in here. Says, birthday facts or not, there's finally a sense of unity on the coaching staff now that King was promoted. Speaking of Vontrell King Williams, do you feel like there's a sense of unity on the staff now with the promotion of VK Dubs to the defensive line coach? That's what I'm going to start calling him, Coach VK Dubs.
VK Dubs. I honestly, if there is a sense of unity on the staff, I don't think it has anything to do with VK Dubs getting promoted. I mean, it would have to do with everybody being in those rooms and on the field when they're coaching these guys and looking like they're having fun with each other and liking being around each other. Vontrell King Williams, he can add to that, but I don't think he would be the final piece. There's still a lot of people who have not worked together who are on the staff right now. I don't think Charles Kelly has ever worked with Wes McGriff. I don't think DJ Durkin has ever worked with Charles Kelly. I don't think Josh Aldridge has ever worked with DJ Durkin. Like, there's a lot going on there, and the unity would have to come from all of these guys getting along and meshing well. So I'm going to say nah, because it wouldn't be due to the promotion. If it's happening, it's going to happen slowly and organically, and it will be just because there's some unity of vibes. Let's say the vibes have to be there, but no, it wouldn't just be because VKW has been promoted.
So I'm going to take a slightly different approach at this with my facts on this and say, because not because he's on the staff. So I'll agree with you with that. But I just think that you can finally get to a place where you feel as if you're ready to move forward and get things going. And I think that this staff is more built in the mold of what Coach Hugh Freeze wants.
Yeah.
And so the unity of vision on the offensive side of the ball is definitely there. Defensively, I think that you have a staff that may, on the surface, get along a little bit better in that locker room. And so you're going to have better unity there. Again, I don't think that that's simply because of Coach VKW getting promoted.
Right.
But I do think that he gives a little bit more synergy because he's been in that building already, and he has more rapport with the kids already, with the young men on that team already. So,
With that.
next one we have here is Corey Weber, who says, facts or not, Auburn basketball gets their first dub in Gainesville since '96.
If it's not this team, man, the winners are going to happen. I'm going to say facts. I know Florida's not an elite team. They are a very competitive team. I don't know if they're good or not, but they're not Missouri this year. They're not Georgia, even though Georgia's more competitive. I think the middle of the conference is probably heavier than the bottom is, and the top of the conference comes down to 3, maybe 4 teams, and we are one of those 3 or 4. It could be a competitive game. It's okay to have confidence that you can beat a good team on the road at their place. And I know a lot of times we go into these matchups and we're like, oh, well, they're bad, so we're going to beat them. Or, oh, well, they're not bad, so we're probably going to lose. Like, I think this team is actually starting to look and feel a little different. This Auburn team, man, the fire I'm seeing from these guys, the consistency from Janai Broome, the hoopery from Trey Donaldson in the starting spot now.
That's
I have
a word,
lot
hoopery.
of confidence.
I like that. I like that.
The hoopery strong with that young man. Yeah. I honestly, I'm getting the feeling that we do it. I'm getting the feeling that we go down there and get this win. And even though you look at the schedule and say, we haven't won in so long and they're actually not bad. Yeah, but we have a distinct advantage. Just hoop-wise, we have an advantage down low. We got a big that can play low, actually distributes well from the post, has a gluttony of moves. Listen, unless you've got a very athletic big or two of them who can absorb a lot of fouls on Broom, he's hitting free throws too. Yes, we win. Facts. We win. The matchup is getting out of hand now. Now our matchups are getting too good. We win. We win.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I'm in book mode on this, and I'm going to go facts on this as well. This is going to be a tough game. I think this is going to be a close game, and I need to see Auburn win a close game, period. On the road for sure, but a close game. So far, any game that's been under 10 points, Auburn has not come out with the victory. I need to see Auburn be able to pull this one off. I think that this is the game to be able to do that. The only loss, we'll talk about this a little bit more on Lobtown, but the only loss that Florida has had at home this season so far has been against Kentucky, and that was back on January the 6th. They lost by 2 points to Kentucky in that game. And I think, Auburn has what's necessary to be able to pull off the victory. I'm going to bug a little bit, and I'm going to give a facts on this and say we get that dub this time. It's long overdue. It's time to make it happen. We'll go facts on this.
Yeah, let's do that.
Let's see. Pete Pass jumping in. Facts or nah. Holloway scores 15 as the three finally starts falling. Asking about this next game. Can Aiden Holloway get up to 15 points? What's his high point game this season? Why we're talking about all of this?
It's got to be double digits, but I don't know how many.
I mean, it's definitely a double-digit game, but I don't know how many points. I'm looking it up.
Oh, you look that up. I am going to say, nah, he doesn't score 15 this game. I think Florida will defend us better than we've been defended the last two games, both Ole Miss and Bama. Excuse me. I see Aiden starting to grasp. He looks like he's accepted that role as the bench point guard, and I don't think it's a negative acceptance in the way I'm saying it. I think he's starting to see, here's what I can do, here's when I can do it. He still took a couple of shots last game. I was like, this wasn't the time for that. I want to say one was a break, and it was just him by himself, and he just jacked up a three. And I was like, no. Like, can you hit that? Yeah. Stop. Slow down. Let the rest of the team get back down the court. Get a better shot, because they had just turned it over, if I'm not mistaken. Bama had just turned it over. And I kept thinking, like, that's not when you take that shot. And then we got the rebound off of it, and he got another one, because he's a shooter. He thinks he can get it whenever he wants to dial it in. But it's like, if you don't get it, though, the cost of missing that shot and missing the next one is, we could have extended this lead. We could have closed this deficit or whatever it is. I don't think he's quite picked the correct moments to shoot or to wait or to drive instead of shoot. I think he's got to work on that a little bit more. And once he gets in that rhythm, I think he'll by the end of the season. Maybe it happens during tournament time. Who knows? But I think it happens this year. He's not there yet, so I'm going to say nah, not 15.
Let's see. High point for him so far this season, by the way, was against Indiana, where he had 24 that game. He has scored 15 or more, 1, 2, 3, 4 times this season. Baylor, Notre Dame, aforementioned Indiana game, USC were the 4 times that he hit 15 points. All of those pretty big matchups. I'm going to put some faith in my boy Aiden and say facts.
Okay.
I'm going to put some faith in him and say he's going to step up and he's going to get us 15 in this game. I think he's going to hit at least 2 3-pointers in this game.
Okay.
I think he's going to go to the free throw line quite a bit.
Aiden,
okay. If you're listening, make your boy Ike Jones a prophet. Make me a prophet, man. You know what I'm saying? 15. Let's get to it, Aiden.
Okay.
Dana Jones jumps in. Facts or not, Auburn's defense this year will be even better than last year. I'm assuming we're talking about football here.
Football now. You know, that's interesting. We're gonna be missing the Marcus Harris and a Jalen Simpson as far as proven production.
And a DJ James and a Nehemiah Pritchett.
Yeah, and a Donovan Kaufman, who he was playing out of position once. Keontae Scott got back. Keontae Scott's, I think, a better star than Donovan Kaufman is, but Donovan Kaufman was best at star. And the multiplicity, the maturity in that defensive backfield allowed us to do some stuff that I don't know if we have the experience and the maturity to do this year. I am worried about that quite a bit. We don't even for sure know who our starting corners are going to be. And you got to have a couple spots locked down, and then you know who else you got to. You can move them and manipulate. I'm going to say even better, nah. The only position I think is going to be much better is the linebackers are going to be better for sure. I have no idea about the other two position groups on the defense. I'm going to say nah, and I hope to be proven wrong.
Yeah, I mean, this is a question that I think is one of those like way too early to really be able to predict. I'll say as it stands right now, I'll go nah, that it's going to be not going to be better. I think that we will be better against the run this year. Whether or not we will have the outstanding secondary, that's yet to be seen because there's too many unproven quantities there. I mean, there's a lot of unproven up front considering what you lost at Marcus Harris. I believe in this defensive coordinator and DJ Durkin's ability to improve front sevens. And I believe that the Will buzzword continuity of having VKW as the defensive line coach, a guy who has already worked with a lot of these guys along the defensive front, and some of the talent that they have coming in to improve the depth, is going to pay dividends in our ability to stop the run, along with what you talked about in the competency and the linebacker play that's coming back for next season. I believe in the front seven ability of DJ Durkin. Waiting to see whether or not those young guys in the defensive secondary will be able to step up and make it happen. But for today, better, I'm going to go nah.
With you
but that answer 100% could change between now and the start of the season. Let's see. CM Pat says, facts or nah, DA is utilized more than Quez. Speaking of Damari Austin and Jarquez Hunter.
I say nah. If anything, the best case for DA, I think, will be split evenly. I think Quez is going to be on a NFL. I mean, obviously NFL or bust because he could have gone after this past season. So they go get every carry out of him that they can get. Hopefully, I wonder what the run pass split's going to be since Hugh Freeze is going to truly be in charge of this thing. I wonder how much of this is going to be run, how much we're going to lean on the run game. Do we have to? Does the quarterback position allow us to run the ball as effectively as we did last year? There was a tweet I saw going around. It was a few weeks ago talking about the percentage of missed blocks for an offensive line across football. Auburn we were in the top 10 as far as the lowest. Mm-hmm. So a very good run blocking last year. And you could see it. When we needed to do it, we did it. We got it done on the ground for the most part. It's just that once the game got out of hand and we had to pass, we didn't have much of an answer. I expect us to be at least comparable in offensive line because I think our offensive line talent will not necessarily drop off. We're losing some experience, Stutz and
Britton,
yeah. So we're gonna lose some guys, but Lou is a revelation. The left tackle we perceived him to play left tackle, he came in from Mississippi State. I think that'll probably be an upgrade at that position. I say nah to DA being utilized more, but that doesn't mean that DA can't still be getting more usage than he got last season. So I say best case is even, but I'm going to say nah, I'm more than Quez. Quez is going to have a year is what I expect.
Yeah, I'll go nah on this one. I think that Jarquez Hunter is still supremely talented despite him having what most people would classify as a disappointing season, even though he almost had 1,000 yards in a season where he didn't start the first game of the season, and he got off to a slow start even after that. But I just think that I believe that DA will be utilized more than he was last season. I just don't know that he'll have more touches than Jarquez Hunter in the coming season, and that's coming from a very big Damari Austin fan.
Yeah.
So I'll go no on that one. Take a little halftime break here just because we need to let you guys know about the sponsor of today's morning drop and every morning drop. That's the folks over at Rogue Shop. Make sure you all are headed to rogueshop.com using code RAPPORT. When you do that, get your little something off your purchase. America's #1 online dispensary is the Rogue Shop. Sleep, stress, pain, anxiety. They got remedies for all of those. Shop at the Rogue Shop. Code RAPPORT when you do. Definitely support the people who support the War Report. Let's get back into the questions here, and we will get the second half of this kicked off with Valencia Jackson, who says, facts or nah, Auburn will win the rest of the games for the season.
Ooh, that's a big proclamation there. I'm going to say nah. I think we lose at least. From the stretch we've got, I think we lose 2 more coming down the stretch. I don't know who, but I think we lose 2 more. So I'm going to say no. That would be a very impressive task to go undefeated with the schedule that we have at Tennessee, especially looks particularly daunting. But yeah, I'm going to say no.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go no on this one as well. I just think that you're gonna slip up at least one more time with the remaining schedule that you have, and not sure when that is going to happen, but. There's one more L left on this schedule for Auburn. Somebody's going to sneak them. So I'm going to go nah on this one. But yeah. I don't think we lose more than 2 games, though, the remainder of the season.
Okay. I like that.
Let's see here. We will go Ant Robinson jumping back in. Facts or nah, do we have the best chance to win the both SEC titles in basketball? Speaking of the regular season and the conference title.
The regular season is going to be kind of up for grabs. Tennessee and at this point, Bama I think are still in play. South Carolina is too. It's a 4-man race. Us, Bama, South Carolina, Tennessee. We'll see how that plays out. Us playing at Tennessee, I think, may be the biggest deciding factor of who wins the SEC. Is what I think. However, that tournament it's a complete roll of the dice. Like there could be a terrible matchup in there for somebody who has a great record. We usually see upsets in the tournament, so that wouldn't be too much of a surprise. I like our chances to win the tournament more than I like our chances to win the SEC regular season title, specifically because one of the 4 best teams in the SEC competing for the regular season title is a road game for us. That, I think, will have a bigger effect on us winning the regular season title. Neutral site, no home team on the floor for the tournament. I really like our chances there. So I'm going to say half facts and half nah on that. You get what I'm saying? So, yeah.
I'll approach the question in this way. Do we have the best chance of any SEC team to pull off getting both?
Okay. Okay, that's what he meant.
I mean, I don't know if that's what he meant, but that's how I'm going to answer the question. If you want to revise your answer based upon my interpretation of it, then you can. But I'm going to say facts. We have the best chance of any team to get both of them. Just because I believe that we're in the driver's seat right now to be able to get the regular season title. And I think that this is a team that can win the SEC tournament because of the depth that this team has. SEC tournament, really tournaments are, about quick turnaround and your ability to recover, because a lot of teams are going to be playing their star players a bunch of minutes, and Auburn has more depth. I think you have a good chance in tournament style stuff. So I'm going to say facts. We have the best chance of any team if they're going to pull off the double title, the double crown. Yeah. And Ant says, yes, that's what he meant.
That's what he meant. See, Ant, I'm answering the wrong questions and stuff. Like, man, I'm sorry. It's
all good, man. It's all good. Steve Bradley says, morning family, facts or nah, we will win the and at least get to the Elite 8, though. That's it.
Ooh, okay. Elite 8. I keep wondering, who could we bump up against nationally that would give us trouble? I like us because of our depth, really against anybody. And the longer a Bruce team is on the floor playing with each other, the better they're going to get. Mostly at defending. Like that's what we're going to get better at the longer the season goes on. longer possessions for the other teams, shot clock violations for the other teams. And when you can put out that type of energy and then swap new guys in who can continue that kind of pressure, tough to beat, buddy. I would really, really, really. It's really hard for me not to call Final Four because of the things I just said. I don't know who has an inside presence that can match up with us well across the country. So I'm gonna Purdue. That's it. That you know for sure.
I mean, that one for sure. Kansas has good inside presence. I mean, there's some teams out there that can play good on the interior. So
I'm gonna say facts because if Purdue and Kansas would likely be in different brackets if things keep going the way they're going. Well, we could end up a 2 if we win the regular season and the tournament. You think there's a chance we get a 1 seed?
Oh, for sure. If Auburn wins the SEC tournament and the SEC regular season, 100% should be a 1 seed. There's no doubt. Like, that's robbery if you're not a 1 seed at that point in time. Because to win the SEC this year, you probably lost 3 or 4 games in conference, right? And right now, Auburn's already got 2 losses. So you only lose 2 more. It means you're a 6-loss team on the season. Yeah, and then you go and win the tournament as well. There's no reason why Auburn wouldn't be a 1 seed at that point.
Okay. Because we would have a good chance of not being in the same bracket with the teams that match up well against us, I'm going to say facts. Elite 8. Facts. I expect at least a Sweet 16. So I actually expect that in my heart as a fan. I would be disappointed if we don't get that, but Elite 8, I'm going to bug a little bit and say facts.
Yeah, I'll go facts on this one, man. Elite 8. I mean, I think, again, we talked about this a little bit last night after you got off. Sweet 16, I think, is, for me, the floor. But before I think I would be disappointed in the outcome of this season if this team doesn't at least make the Sweet 16. And I think that this is a Final Four capable team. So Elite 8 is right in that sweet spot. So I'll go facts on this one.
Bet that.
Let's see. Auburn dad jumps back in. Facts or not, Aiden takes his move off the bench in stride and gets better and learns from it instead of jumping in the portal next year. Aiden
I
doesn't
think Aiden
get the
stays.
portal.
I think Aiden stays because he's getting the usage. What he got was the nod to start the season. What he got was, and he's still getting minutes. It's not like we got a Trayor situation where you're not getting to get on the bench. I see effort from Aiden when it comes to defending, and that's always going to be big with Bruce. I see improvement from Aiden as far as him attempting to manipulate the defense more before he just jacks up a shot. So that means he's being coached and he's taking coaching. And when you're doing that, that means you're still in the game. You're still in it and invested in this program. And plus, if you're going to look at the progress that the team is making, the type of run we could be on, why would you jump off this ship? I don't really know why, especially if you look at what Bruce's players have done transitioning to the league. Everybody who comes through here, if you're highly touted, you're leaving out highly touted if you stick around and decide to put your mind to it. So I'm going to say that facts, he stays. I had to make sure I knew how you asked it. But, yeah, facts. I think Aiden sticks around.
Yeah, I don't see any reason for Aiden to leave. I'll go facts on this one as well. I think, going into next season, I don't see Trey Donaldson hitting the portal or going pro. So you're still going to have that dynamic backcourt, even though you have Pettiford coming in. KD Johnson is likely done, so there's more guard rotation, and you could potentially see both Trey and Aiden on the floor at the same time, which would take him off the ball and even make him more dangerous. He has adjusted well defensively in the league, better than I thought that he would coming in early. And I think that, you could see a scenario where if he was getting buried on the bench, not getting minutes, then I would worry about this.
Right.
But he's still getting his minutes, even though he's not starting. So I'm going to go facts on this and say that Aiden is going to stick around, and that's more hopeful than anything because I've never spoken to the young man. I really don't know what his temperament is around any of this stuff. But I think he's in a good situation. I think he'll stick around with it. I'll say facts.
I think so too.
Let's see. P. Pass jumps in, says the Auburn women make the semis in the SEC tournament and as an 11 seed in the NCAA tournament. The semis. Ooh.
You got to go through at least one other solid team to get to the semis. At least one.
I'm gonna say no on this one, man. I think they can win a game in the SEC tournament. They could make the semis just because they're so good defensively. 11 seed in the NCAAs is where I'm actually balking a little bit on this. This feels like a 12 or 13 seed type of team. If you make it to the semis, though, you do have a good chance. That's tough, man. I'm gonna say no.
I'm gonna go with you because you watch more baseball than me. You know the other teams out there and what they'd have to face better than me. So whatever Ike said, yeah, he said nah. It's a nah.
All right. Gonna get into some of our non-green name gang questions that we've got here. We'll start it off. Jordan Martin, who says, "Facts or not, Hugh gives all the QBs the same opportunity and picks the best one."
Man, I hope facts. Man, I hope this is a facts, man. Who knows? But I'm gonna hope facts with my heart.
I mean, yeah, I guess I'm gonna have to just go with what I'm hoping is going to happen here and say, yes, he will give the same opportunity to everyone and pick the best one. Facts on this. Hasn't been any evidence of it in the previous season. And again, I have said multiple times that I'm not going to believe in a true QB competition until I see one.
Yeah.
But this is more with my heart than my head on this, and I'll say facts. That's what's going to happen. I hope that's what's happened. I think that's what's going to be best for the team because I think the team knows. Well, I don't think the team knows in practice who's performing the best out there.
Right.
And I don't think that anything from the experience standpoint for any player in the quarterback room should override bad performance in practice this offseason.
Right.
Just because you've seen it before, right? So if it's close or somebody is performing better than Peyton Thorne, I think you have to give the nod to the guy that has less experience in this scenario. Just because I don't think that you have that hope in the back of your mind that Peyton Thorne has the light come on. He needs to go out there and really take the job this spring and fall.
Yeah, agreed.
In my opinion.
Agreed.
Marcus Marzette says, "Facts or not, we will see the top of Ike's head next football." Man, you can see the top of my head right now, bro. It's just a head. There's nothing. There's no magic underneath this hat. I just prefer to wear hats. I'm not hiding anything. I don't even have no hair to hide. I'm bald.
Yeah.
I thought that was common knowledge, but you haven't seen it, and there's no ain't got no weird indentations or marks or nothing. It's just a regular head. So there you go. Facts. People are like really like caught up into it. I guess just because you haven't seen it, you're like, does he have a head underneath there? But it's weird. But I just like hats, man. It is what it is. I've always liked hats. It's not like a new thing. So let's see. Jordan Albrick says, "Facts or not, KD gets a technical foul in Gainesville, and we kind of love it."
All right, I'm gonna love it if it's not doesn't result in making a difference in the points of the game. That's when I'll love it. If it's just hype and it gets the team hype and we get a win, yes, then I would love it. But I actually don't think he's gonna do that. I think he has a. I don't know. I don't want to act like I can predict what KD is gonna do. Man, I don't know. So I'm gonna say nah because I hope he don't get out of pocket with the refs to the point because they kind of let him chirp. They'll let him, make the little stank phase, and they'll let him talk a little bit. I just don't want it to get to the point where they have to call a tech. If they call a tech, then that means he went overboard a little bit. So I'm going to hope nah on that.
If it is the brand of tech that he got into the game versus Ole Miss, I'm here for it. KD, I want to see it again. Dunk on them. Hang on the rim when the game is not in doubt anymore. I'm all for that kind of carrying on. So if we get another one of them, facts, I'm with it. I just don't want one of them. You know what? I'll even take an early game Arkansas tech like the one that Chad got, or who else got a tech early in that game? Trey got one early in that game for like going by the bench and saying it was both of them were kind of weak tech calls, but I'll take one of them like super fired up. Hey man, y'all gonna have to hoot today type of things, and the refs are like, hey, all right, we gonna curb this early. Like I'll take one of them where it's like, hey, that was kind of weak, but whatever. I'll take one of them too, and I won't be mad at that either. So, yeah, there is a variety of tech that I'm not gonna be mad at, and I'm all for KD getting one of them. All right, man, that's enough of us in here talking, man. We appreciate you guys jumping in here with facts and nods. Always fun to get in here and answer your questions. Share the video before y'all get out of here. Like the video and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Follow us on social media. We're at The War Report on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, TW Report on TikTok. That's it. Make sure y'all check in with our sponsor, Rogue Shop. Until the next time, and as always, War Eagle.
War Eagle.
Drop.